I was shaking like that. We couldn't believe it. My husband and I, we were already in bed, getting ready to sleep. We took the phone, and there's messages like invasion, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. What invasion? What's happening? Most Ukrainians and most Russians and most people from Belarus, these are the three countries where Slav people live. None of them, well, okay, most of them couldn't believe what was happening. And the reason for that is very simple. Yes, we knew that Putin was having all of these thoughts about invading Ukraine. We knew about that 8 years ago when it all started. And while, you know, the foreign media was talking about Putin to invade Ukraine and that he was building up forces outside of Ukraine, but they didn't, you know, like the world didn't take that message as much anyway. But for Ukrainians and Russians and Belarus people, we were all up to date with these messages. So we kind of got used to it over the period of 8 years that the Putin was going to invade. We just got used to it so much that when foreign media started all of this, what I called on my channel media hysteria, and I was, because it was not a hoax, it was just like way too much. I realized something was happening, but nobody could believe the information they were saying. And if you ask most Russian people or Ukrainian people or Belarus people, we could expect Putin to come into the eastern part of Ukraine and overtake the territories that were already separated from Ukraine in 2014. But a mass attack, a full blown out war on Ukraine, which is, and especially using the same techniques as were used by Nazi Germany in 1941, he's using exactly the same. Like he has the, you know, the booklet where he has all the information, how the Germans did that with Kyiv and with Ukraine. And it's as if he's using that booklet from 1941, okay? And we would have never expected that even from Putin. So of course, everybody was shocked. Everybody was shocked. And the first reaction was, I was shaking like that. We couldn't believe it. My husband and I, we were already in bed, getting ready to sleep. We took the phone, and there's messages like invasion, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. What invasion? What's happening? And of course, on the 22nd of February, he already went in on the territory of Ukraine, but in the regions that were under the control of other groups that are known as DNR and LNR, which is the name for these areas. So we knew he was there. But when we saw that he was bombing Kyiv, the military, what do you call them? The rockets, what would you call them? Artillery?
Rocket.
Right. So yeah, the rockets, yeah, they were going through over Kyiv. And of course, we have a lot of friends in Ukraine. And my husband has his parents and his brother, and then his aunt and their family, okay? I'm from Kyiv originally, okay?
Being under attack right now? Kyiv is under attack?
Yes, Kyiv is under attack. And I cannot imagine what Ukrainian people were feeling when they were the ones in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. When even us in Jamaica, I mean, where is Ukraine? Where is Jamaica? It's far enough. And we understood that we were in safety, right? Because you know how people keep talking how dangerous Jamaica is. It's just, do you know, when you realize what danger really is, you know, it can... The thing is, when the media talks about everything like, oh, he's going to do that, he's going to do that, it's all in the news. It's overwhelming, right? But when it actually happens, on the day of event, everybody went dead quiet. Finding out any information that can be verified was extremely difficult. We joined all the groups through Telegram. We joined all the groups in Facebook and so on. Of course, as a journalist, I know how to get information and verify it. First, we got in touch with my husband's parents, so my parents-in-law. We got in touch with our friends and family, obviously. So we turned my studio in headquarters, so so that we can run the information. My sons are helping me to monitor information in every city. My husband is helping me, and I'm doing that. And somewhere around 1 hour after that,
with the information, what are you able to do? Are you able to help your family from here with the information?
No. Well, first of all, we were trying to understand what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the first few hours, we couldn't believe that. We thought maybe it's a fake. Maybe it's just basically some, it's not true. It couldn't be happening. It's basically, for us, it was the same as if somebody said the aliens from other planet are invading our planet.
Why is Russia invading the Ukraine? What is the reasoning behind it? For those who don't understand the history.
In most cases, when things are happening, people think, okay, it's probably oil, money, these kind of problems that cause wars. In this situation, it's very different. It's very different to the point that it is more like during the Second World War. The main ones are basically revenge, not to Ukraine, revenge to NATO. It is revenge to Western world. And if you listen to Putin's speech in Russian, you can hear that he's given history lessons on the Soviet Union and so on. So basically, just like Hitler was having his revenge on the Germany's loss in the First World War, Putin is having his revenge on the loss of the Cold War with the Western world, the collapse of the Soviet Union. So this is the first reason. It's historical. He's trying to make justice for what happened. And in his opinion, he's doing a good thing. The second reason is because all of his requests to NATO were ignored. So the other thing is because he believes, Ukraine comes into picture because he believes Russia came from Ukraine, although he puts it in different words, but Kyiv is 700 years older than Moscow, and it was the Kyiv's king that built Moscow. So he believes that Kyiv is Russian city because that's where Russia came from, right? So he doesn't accept that Ukraine is a separate country, and that Kyiv is a Ukrainian city. He doesn't accept that. He also doesn't like the way democracy works. He doesn't like the fact that whatever other forces can do, like from the US and so on, he's not allowed to do. Why is that so? I am Ukrainian, so I am biased, and it's very difficult for me to switch sides to see this situation from his side. However, please note the side that Putin is attacking Ukraine. This is not the position of majority of Russian people. This is not the position of Russian people. Sure, there are Russian people who support him, but a lot of Russians, they were as shocked and as absolutely mind blown as Ukrainians were. And the tragedy, they understand that it's not the tragedy just for Ukraine. It's a tragedy for all of our people.
What is it you're trying to do to help Jamaicans?
All right. Okay. So what happened was when my husband and I, when we were trying to find the information and everything, of course, the first thing my husband said, he said, listen, we need to get in contact with Owen, because we knew that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they made a post that they told Jamaican students to leave Ukraine. And that post was made sometime in the beginning of February. And I was certain that they were leaving Ukraine. I knew they were planning to leave. Okay, so I was like, okay, good. And then when all of this was happening and my husband said, so what's with Owen and Tarek? Because these are the Jamaican guys I interviewed on my channel. And I said, oh, they're probably already in Jamaica. Actually, I need to get in touch with them to ask them how they, got through. And as I was writing to them, and as I found out that they were still in Ukraine, because I was talking to other people in Jamaica who I know to say, like, did they actually get in Ukraine? And they said, no, they're still there. So basically for the last 2 days, we've been trying to find transportation from Kharkiv, which is a city in Ukraine, to Lviv, which is another city in Ukraine, in Western Ukraine, right? So that they can cross the border to Poland. Jamaican embassy in Berlin, in Germany, are the ones who are responsible for this, who can help with this operation. And they were the ones who were trying to get them out. They can do so much. They can get in touch with Poland, they can get in touch with Ukrainian government, but of course, Ukrainian government is busy doing other things.
Right.
It's okay. They were told, the Jamaican students, they were told where they should go closer to Polish border and which part of the border they can cross to get to Poland. Okay. But how are they going to get there? Through Ukraine, which is a war zone, So, and I realized that right away. So that was my kind of mission. And my husband, we were both trying to find transportation. And look, the thing is, because we have friends in different parts of Ukraine, we were trying to contact them first, asking them if they can use their transport to get them out of there. We were asking our friends first, then we were trying to rent a bus. We have the money to do that. So that wasn't the problem. We were ready to pay any money they asked, okay? First, it was impossible to find any bus right away because all were busy. Jamaican students wanted to go. Actually, they were supposed to leave on the 24th. They had a flight on the 24th, but it got canceled because the attack started on the 24th. So they did listen to them. I see some posts and people writing, oh, those Jamaican students didn't listen to the foreign ministry. They did. And they wanted to leave. But the problem is when they go on warning, you need time, you need to get the tickets, you need to and going from Ukraine to Jamaica, it's not that easy. It's not like you're going to US, so the flight, the first flight you hop on and go. That's not the case. So they got the first flight available, which was for the 24th. I even called funeral homes, asking them if they have any buses. Like, do you have buses that we can use to transport, people? And they said like everything went out, but like everything was already used. But the other problem, those who did have transport didn't have fuel.
No fuel.
There is everything out of fuel. No fuel. Well, there is fuel, but there is a limit of how much fuel you can get. What is more, most drivers in Ukraine are men, and men are mobilized. So who's going to be driving?
So is it that there's no hope for the Jamaican students, you think, at this time?
No, there is hope. There is hope. There is railway.
But is that safe, though?
Getting on a train is probably the safest, at least that was at the moment when they were trying to get on a train. Mm-hmm. Now, 2 of the Jamaican students are on a bus. They managed to get a bus without my help. They just organized it separately. Without anybody's help, actually. It's Owen and Tarek. They managed to get on that bus. But the bus is it's detouring all the time because obviously, they're trying to avoid they're monitoring where the military forces are in order to get through without being attacked. Now, on a train, however, it is safer in terms of that it doesn't go on the roads where tanks or other military forces are. So it just goes straight and that's it, right? So I've been monitoring trains as well, trying to see maybe they can get out of Kharkiv to a nearby city and go from there, because there were some trains running from there.
And how have you been able to communicate with our students? Through
WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I called them. Yeah, because I was trying to send messages to Owen first and that didn't go through. So I just called him on his Ukrainian number from my Jamaican number. And that's it. And went through and then we were able to get in touch through WhatsApp and yeah.
What's the atmosphere like right now for the Jamaicans? What are you getting from them? How scared are our students that are unable to get?
I didn't hear them being scared. I saw them being like holding up.
Okay, so they are holding.
All right. They are, yes, they're not panicking from what, well, I only spoke to 2 of them and I know that Tarek was sending, the hugs and everything. So Owen and Tarek on the bus, they were like, good. I don't know the word in it, like holding up, like, yes, we're going, and
have faith.
Yes, and Jordan, right. She sent me some audio messages and she sounded like, yeah, we're here, but we're doing this and this and yeah. So she didn't sound panicking or anything. She was like determined, confident, and she was like, so I hope that they're gonna get through this. It's just so crazy that I'm here in Jamaica and they're right there,
I know.